Hello, welcome back to another video. In this one, I will be tier ranking all of the books that I've read in 2020. In this video, I'll be ranking all the books I read in 2025. There are 65 total books, 45 physical, 20 audio, and then on top of that, there's a few DNFs. So my tiers, as you can see, Zambra, that is exceptional, so exceeds expectations. I'll have another.
This drink, I like it.
I know, it's great, right?
Another!
Met my expectations. It was really good, and I would read other books by this author or other similar books. You were good, ... but you could have been great.
Paige, you were good. I'm waiting for you to be great. And next.
That was, it was fine, but like it definitely did not meet my expectations. And then Not For Me, obviously did not like it. DNF, I got a good chunk of the way through and decided that it wasn't worth my time, so I quit reading. Also, can we appreciate the Wonder Woman mug? Alright, let's get into it. First up, and this is an order mostly of, for the most part, of how I read it, like, throughout the year. So we started off, strong with Emily Wilde's Map of the Otherlands. This is the second book in the trilogy. That was Zambra for sure. And then a few of these are required reading for a class that I had, a creative writing class. Interior Chinatown. It was pretty good. It was for an experimental class. I would read another like it, and I didn't really have any expectations. So, Meander, Spiral, Explode. This is a book on writing. Zambra for sure. And then Matthew Perry's memoir. This was not for me. Sorry, not for me. I love Friends and I love him, but the book was not for me. Oh, I'm sorry. This was a DNF. I didn't even finish this. And followed up by another DNF, The Forest Brims Over. That one I could possibly come back to, but at the time it just wasn't hitting right. The writing style wasn't for me. Daisy Hates by Jessa Hastings. Zambra, 100%. And The Employees. This was a fun one. This one was also for that experimental class, and it was mostly written in witness, like, what is it called? I can't think of the word. But it was like extraterrestrials and humanoids and humans and, written with like witness testimonies. You were good. Could have been great. Multiple choice. This one was not for me. Another experimental one for that class. And What I Talk About When I Talk About Running by Haruki Murakami. Also, You Were Good. It was exactly what I was expecting. Kind of like you were just kind of having a conversation with him, so that was nice. Word Hunter. I think Ella Stands. I can't see all the authors' names for these. This was DNF, actually. So that it was like a mystery, and this had this like girl detective, and she was also a linguist, but I have a degree in linguistics, and nothing about this book said linguistics to me, like, at all. It was very juvenile, and the forensic linguistics was not it at all. Perfume by Patrick Süskind. I'll have another. That one was excellent. The Long Way Home, Jessa Hastings. I want to say Zambra. There was one in the series that didn't quite do it, but I would reread all of these, so Zambra. The Silent Patient thriller. This one was good. Definitely had an unreliable narrator, but could have been a lot better. Famous Last Words. This one, another unreliable narrator, another thriller, and I read these back to back. And basically, this woman gets this notice that her husband is holding these people hostage, and she's like, no way, it can't possibly it. But like all of the clues like point that it's him. That he's the one who did this and is holding them hostage. Definitely you were good. Maybe I'm just not like a thriller girly, or these were like not written super well. Actually this one is going not for me because it was kind of a struggle to even finish, while this one I could kind of zoom through, like it kind of had that thriller hook and kept the pace going, where this one kind of like dragged. The House of My Mother by Shari Franke. This was a memoir, quite chilling and really well told for a memoir. Maybe I'll have another. The Great Undoing by Jessa Hastings, going straight into Zamzatti. Raven Boys. Oh yeah, if you have watched any of my stuff, you know I love Maggie, Stiefvater, and the Raven Boys. We're going right up to a Zamzatti for sure. Phantom of the Opera. First time reading this, and I gotta say, not for me. Phantom of the Opera was not for me. Elin Hilderbrand. Ooh, this was my introduction, my first read of the year of my life of Elin Hilderbrand. So the Blue Bistro, basically this, the main character, she's worked in hotels all of her life, and she moves to Nantucket and is searching for work and ends up finding something in a restaurant, not a hotel, so it's like a different scene for her. And the descriptions of the shifts at the restaurant and of the menus and the food and just the day-to-day life in here, mixed in with just a little bit of romance, was perfect. So perfect. And also, of course, you get like the Nantucket scenery, so we're going straight into Zamzatti. I know this is by the author of Half-Broke Horses by Jeanette Walls, but this is her other book. Hang on, what? This is Jeanette Walls' newest book, and obviously it's gonna go into, I can't even remember the title, I can't see it. I'll put it here though. And probably You Were Good, because I do like her writing, but it could have been better. It was a tiny bit dry. Another Hilderbrand, Matchmaker. This one made me cry. So I'll have another. Any book that makes me cry, I'll have another. Just as the title says, a woman in Nantucket is known to be like the matchmaker of the community, and obviously to make it interesting, some of her choices go a bit awry, and her own life is kind of falling apart at the same time. So people wonder if she's like losing her touch. Anne of Green Gables. I'll have another. Thank you very much. This was a fantastic reread. I want to read the whole series, but this was just so fun and imaginative and playful, and you could really sink your teeth into this series, I think. Goldfinch by Donna Tartt. We're going straight to Zamzatti. This book was amazing. A young boy is met with tragedy, and his whole life is turned upside down, and he holds on to this painting, and it's kind of like his comfort thing, and it leads him into a crazy kind of trajectory later in his life. But the writing, Donna Tartt's writing, obviously is just amazing. Witches of El Paso. This was not for me. This was not for me. We had a couple different timelines, Witch in the past, and then like it was generations later. I can't even remember all of it. I mean, I can remember it, but it was written so, it was so dull, pacing was so slow, and just very dry. And it had some, like, semi-interesting history stuff, if you ever want to read it. Hotel Nantucket, another Hilderbrand. This one was fun because it's a little different from her other stuff, where the hotel in Nantucket, it's a struggling hotel, and it turns out it's haunted, and this woman has to go and become the manager and kind of like revamp the whole thing, and they're trying to get, there's a reviewer who goes around and reviews different hotels, and I think like globally, and they want her or him to come to the hotel and rate it 5 keys. That's instead of like 5 stars, it's like a hotel key, that 5 keys. And so that's their whole goal, is to get that 5 key rating. And again, just like in the restaurant one, like the everyday hotel shifts and day-to-day life, it was just told so well and is so fun. I'll have another for sure. Authority. This is the second book in the trilogy by Jeff Vandermeer. It's ecological horror, though I felt like there's a lot less ecological stuff in this one and a lot more about the character Control, who is like the manager of the sort of facility that sits next to the Shimmer. The Shimmer is part of this like the entryway into this world that's like not part of our world, and whoever ventures in there, nobody comes back out. So this is mostly, it takes place at the facility and has a lot less of the ecological stuff. And I mean, although you were good, because I'm still going to read the third one, but I feel like it could have been better. It just fell a little flat. Into the Dark. Yes, please. Zamzatti. This is by Jessa Hastings. This is the 5th one in the series. You can see I read this is 1, 2, 3, 4. I read the first one in 2024 and then just couldn't stop. Absolutely hooked. Love all of them. Alright, next up we have the Paris novel by Ruth Reichel. I don't know if I'm saying that right. This was so fun. This was about a woman who goes to Paris, and I think she's using like her mom's inheritance to go to Paris. Her mom has passed away, and she ends up buying this dress, and the dress is kind of triggers like a catalyst. It's like the inciting incident for everything else that happens in Paris, and she like meets all these people and tries all these different foods, and the descriptions are just beautiful. I'll have another, honestly, because I've been looking for more books by her. Corrupt by Penelope Douglas. I'm not even sure why I finished this one. It was kind of like the accident where you can't look away. So I guess kudos to the author for somehow making me finish this. But it was not for me. It's the best I can describe it is like a toxic, dark romance. Just not my style. Good Morning Midnight by Jean Reese. This is going straight into Zamzatti, a woman who is kind of living in solitude, I believe in Paris. Just kind of explores what it means to live and find meaning in life, and just read it. Honestly, just read it. That's like Zamzatti times a million, and I'll have like 50 more of them. The Anatomy of Dragons by Marie Brennan. Not for me at all. Super dry. It read like more like an academic text than a novel. And it has beautiful illustrations inside of dragons, but that's about it. Not for me at all. I honestly wanted to DNF that one. Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst. I always want to call her Bethany. You Were Good. Could have been great. This had a lot of like cozy fantasy elements, so if you like cozy fantasy, if you like Legends and Lattes, you might like this one. You might like this one too. I would almost read more by her, but like only if I had like nothing else and if the book was like sitting there and I had no other choice. So yeah, You Were Good, You Could Have Been Great. Or maybe if I had like 3 other choices, I would maybe choose this one if I was in the mood for a cozy fantasy. The Dream Thieves. This is the second one in the Maggie Stiefvater series of the Raven Boys. I'll have another. I know this one is in Zamzatti. The second one just didn't quite hit me like the first one did. Leigh Bardugo, The Familiar. This is about a kind of like a servant girl who discovers her magic and enters into a tournament and has to compete against these other people, like teens. I think this is a YA. Maybe this might be an adult. With different magical abilities, and there's some things that go wrong and some corruption, I guess is what I'm trying to say. You Were Good. Like, I would read more by Leigh Bardugo, yes, but this one didn't quite meet my expectations. Almost up here. Oh, we have this nice little thing going on. Where the Library Hides by Isabella Ibinez. This is the second in the duology. It takes place in Egypt, and it's kind of like a heist type of adventure with a little bit of like slow burn romance. And I believe it is YA. We'll go into the first one was Zamzatti for sure. What the River Knows. This one I'll have another because like I would read more like it, but it didn't quite hit that. I mean, I think it's really hard to do like a series where every book is Zamzatti material. Okay, next we have Rouge by Mona Awad. So I do like Mona Awad. I liked her book All's Well. Oop, I did. Rouge, You Were Good, You Could Have Been Great. I did have higher expectations for this one. It felt very repetitive, and I think that was partly because of the nature of the book, which was it's based on like beauty and aesthetics and like how the beauty industry really can mess people up, and how it can also be used as a crutch for like mental, like if you have like mental instability or like depression, how you might latch on and become obsessed to like beauty standards and beauty products, which is what happens to this woman, and she enters into like this sort of like cult beauty arena, and some really weird stuff happens, and I liked the weird stuff. What I didn't like is like one of the side effects was like being like forgetting stuff, and so they just kept repeating scenes kind of. The Disaster Tourist. This is a nice short little novel, a literary fiction. I would read something else like this because I've never read anything quite like that before. My Husband, I think. My Husband. Alright, we had a bit of a fiasco, but like I was saying, this is my first time doing this, so I wanted to make the pictures so it was the full book instead of those squares, which I successfully did, but I also erased the whole thing and had to start over, so I hope everything is where it was before. So let's get right back into it. We have My Husband. I think I was about to do this one. This one is 100% a Zamzatti. So this is a story about obsession, and what it means to be in a relationship, and a little bit about, or a lot, I'd say like half and half about like translation. This woman is a translator, and I just loved that part of it. So definitely read that book if you like a psychological literary thriller. The Listeners by Maggie Stiefvater. You Were Good. I was waiting for you to be great. This is, I guess, her first historical fiction, set in a hotel, and I think like 1940s. It was fine. The Bewitching. Silvia Moreno Garcia. The only other thing I've read by her is Mexican Gothic, and I absolutely loved it, so I did have some expectations for this, and this was a DNF. I might have gotten like halfway through and I was like, you know what, I don't care about this. So I put it down. And then I did, let's put this over here, because I read these all in order. I did like a little cozy mystery video, A Cold Dose of Murder. This was terrible. No words. Buried in a Good Book. This was cute. This was a good time. A mystery that takes place, like, obviously by the cover, in a cabin in the woods. I don't know. Would I? Maybe here. It got a little, like, twisty in the middle. Like, yeah. I guess I didn't, like, check, like, all of the boxes. This one goes with this section too, because this is one I actually did love and would read another of this author. Deadly Summer Nights, another cozy mystery. Savvy Summers and the Sweet Potato Crimes. This was a DNF, a cozy mystery. The writing was just really stilted. Not for me. Mango, Mambo, and Murder. I would maybe pick this one back up, but it was a DNF, also in that cozy mystery series. My Brilliant Friend. This was excellent, and I will have another. And I will read I want to finish the series this year. Two Can Play. Okay, we're getting into some little romance. Do I have all of her romance? I feel like I read more by Ali Hazelwood, and it's not. Because I know I think I'm missing a couple books. That's okay, we're just going to finish this. Two Can Play by Ali Hazelwood. I'll have another. This is only an audiobook. It's on Spotify. It's like a novella. It's about like two gamers who get stuck in a cabin in the winter on a work retreat. So close force proximity is super fun. And then my Sally Rooney era started. This was amazing. Conversations with Friends. Absolutely. Full Shift. This was the only graphic novel I read this year, and I'll have another. I had no expectations going in with this, and I really enjoyed it, and it got me out of a reading slump. The X-Hex, this was the beginning of a little trilogy by Erin Sterling, another rom-com. I usually listen to these rom-coms while I'm running or walking. I just like something like really light and fun, and I love the paranormal, witchy vibes in this, and oops, I'll have another, because I did have another. Dream Store, Delegate Dream Department Store. I thought this was going to be really cute, and it was. It's got a little store or a large store where you sell dreams, and the protagonist gets a job at this store. It's like her dream job, dream job. But it kind of didn't quite hit for me. But it was good. Just not great. Save the Cat writes a novel. This is a nonfiction about writing novels, and it kind of goes into the 15 different beats of every story. Yeah, it says 69 photos down here, so I definitely am missing a few. Oh well. Might be able to find them yet. Save the Cat. It was good. It delivered exactly what I thought it would. The Kiss Curse by Erin Sterling. This is the second one to the X-Hex, and I did not like it, just like some of the other series I read. I did not like the second one as much as the first, but I just finished the third one, but it would be my 2026, so we won't talk about that one yet. Sally Rooney, Beautiful World, Where Are You? Boom. Sam Zaddy. Love that one. Normal People, also a Sam Zaddy. I think I tried to like rank these in my head, like which one's the best. Ooh, it's very difficult. I think I really like Conversations with Friends, but I want to reread all of those. Cheesecake. This is supposed to be like about like the first cheesecake and like the history, but told in like a fiction novel form. Anyway, it was terrible. Going right tail. And The Ministry of Time. Yes, this was such a beautiful book. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend. If you like like science fiction and time travel. Basically, this guy comes from the past through this government program, and this woman is like his sort of caretaker or like guide through the modern day world. And so he's like discovering everything, like cell phones, laptops, like the modern age, for the first time. And it's just funny and amazing, and it's his anxiety because I could not stop thinking about that book for days, weeks after. Dracula. This is so sad because I love vampire stuff and I had high expectations for this, like super high expectations. I liked sections of it. It was good. I was waiting for it to be great and it just never got great. Stephen King on writing. This was so good, and I'm like rereading it right now and like going back and highlighting things. I'll have another for sure. If he wrote another book on writing, I would read it. Though, fun fact, I don't really read a lot of Stephen King, like his fiction stuff. Frida McFadden, The Crash, a thriller. This was my first McFadden ever, and it was not for me. This was horrible. It was like, I don't know, it was encouraging because I'm like, if that can be published, then I can also be published, because that was bad. On the plus side, this was a nice little rom-com and so fun, and the main male protagonist reminds me so much of Luke from Gilmore Girls. I will definitely have another. I would read something like this again. Again, I listened to this on audiobook. And then This Is How You Heal by Brianna Wiest. She wrote the other nonfiction, like 101 Essays to Change the Way You Think, I think. You Were Good, I Was Waiting for You to Be Great. Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood. I'm trying to remember because I listened to quite a few Ali Hazelwood. I think this is the one with the biological biofood scientist. The first one, because right now I'm listening to A Problematic Summer Romance, and I think that's the second one to this one. This one, I'll have another. Picture of Dorian Gray. That's my first time reading this too, and like I know a lot of people have read some of these in like high school and stuff, but I never did. And this is going to Sam Zaddy. Definitely thought about this one for a long time after, and I want to reread it. Aesthetica, I kind of read these two, as you can see, back to back. Aesthetica would be like also talking about obviously aesthetics and like how society views people and how it affects people to be so involved in like their appearance and the different things that we do to try to like maintain a certain appearance and how toxic it can be. This was also like hard to look away from. I would read another book like this though. I almost want to put it here. I might put it here. I don't know, do these like things get longer? I mean, it probably. But I'm just gonna put it there. Okay, The Dead Romantics, another sort of rom-com. This one was a little bit darker and paranormal, and it's about a writer. I love books like writing about writers. So she's a ghostwriter, and long story short, she gets like involved with a ghost. So it's like, yeah, it was super fun, and I absolutely loved it. I'll have another. Wow, we did good for romance this year. Most of my romance goes in I'll have another, and I only, like, these DNFs are ones that I, like, read a good chunk and then put it down. If I pick up a romance, I'll read, like, the first few pages, and if I'm not hooked, then I'm putting it down, so I probably put down a lot of romance didn't make it to this tier list. Better Than the Movies, another great one. Put it here. Oh, it, like, does a double row. Okay. Yeah, this one was I'll Have Another. It was very cute, like a high school romance, but it's like the main character's mom who's passed away she wrote rom-coms, so it's like rom-com stuff within a rom-com. Anyway, just read it, it's good, it's fun. Immaculate Conception. This was a literary fiction about two artists and best friends, and then kind of goes on their life journey together. You Were Good, You Could Have Been Great. Intermezzo. Okay, I'd say this one was my least favorite from Sally Rooney, and I would go so far as to put it in I'll Have Another, because I will read her next book, but it wasn't over the moon for me. I did like the writing style. It's about two brothers who have quite different personalities, and yeah, that's all I'll say, but it was good. Wuthering Heights is a Zamzaddy for sure. Very dark, very brooding, mysterious, slightly mysterious, and like just vibey, just super gloomy and vibey, and I loved it. Like that's the kind of romance I want to read about, not that. Though it goes, you could say both of them were toxic, but like their writing levels are vastly and enormously and wondrously different. Elin Hilderbrand, we ended the year with Winter Street, which is going into You Were Good, I Was Waiting for You to Be Great. This is the only Elin Hilderbrand that really disappointed me this year. It's a shorter like novella, and it was just a lot of like Christmas themes, so if you want something like super Christmassy, pick it up, but like the story did not grab me. And that is all I have. Let me see if I can. So yeah, we had a pretty good reading year. A lot of I'll Have Another. Some Zamzaddies, dominated by Sally Rooney and Jessa Hastings. Okay, that is all I have for this tier ranking of most of the books I read in 2025, because I know there's a couple missing here, but I'd have to do a little research, and I'll just include them probably in my 2026 if I remember to, who knows. But yeah, we had a decent reading year. I think in this next year I want to just be a little more intentional, and maybe not pick up so many randos. We'll see where the year takes us, but let me know if you've read any of these books and what you thought of them and where your tier ranking would be, and if you had any Zamzaddies this year. Yeah, that is all for this video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.